I come with second chapter of mobile communication, that is fundamentals of cellular system. So firstly we will see the basic cellular system, which is very easy in topic. So this is PSTN, public system network, and then it is MTSO, it is cell site, base station, and another base station and cell site. You have to draw only the base station, cell site, and then after connect the MTSO to PSTN. So we'll know in the depth what is the fundamental of cellular system. First is mobile unit. What is mobile unit? The mobile, in mobile name indicates the movable things. So handhold personal mobile unit, it is also called as a mobile station. That is our mobile phone. So second is base station. So base station. Station means not movable. It is fixed. So which provides the interface between the mobile units and MTSO. Mobile unit and MTSO is the which provide the interface between them, called as base station. So it is one type of connector between base station and EMTSO, we can say that. Third is EMTSO EMSC. As we learned, EMSC is the heart of mobile communication system. So it is the central coordinating unit for all cell site. EMTSO or EMSC also called as the heart of cellular system, as well as EMTSO is responsible for controlling the processing operations and handling the billing activities of the subscriber. Then we will see what is the forward channel and reverse channel. So which channel used for transmission from base station to mobile station is called as forward channel. So if you want to remember the reverse channel, you only listen it vice versa. Like forward channel is used for transmission from base station to mobile station. So reverse channel used the, it's vice versa, mobile station to base station. Then what is the control channel? Radio channel used for the transmission of cell setup, cell request, cell initiation, and other control signing purposes used as control channel. As the name indicates, it's control the channel. Then next is handoff or handover. So the process of by which mobile station is transferred from one base station to another base station is called as handoff. Like we can say that connecting both of them called as suppose we are talking in this base station and we move to the another, then it is called as handoff or handover. So now what is cell? As we know, it is geographical area and its shape is hexagonal. Then now what is cluster? So group of cells is called as cluster. So here you can see that this is A cell, this B, C, D, E, F, G, H is the group of the cells. That's why it called as cluster. So the question is why the shape of the cell is hexagon. So as we know, circular cover higher area than the other shape. But by using circular cell, there is problem of gap between adjacent cell. Like we have a hexagonal shape, but we can connect them. But if we have circular, we can't connect them properly. Here we will get the gap. That's why we use the hexagonal shape. So if we try to avoid gap, there is a problem of overlapping, that is interference. See, if we can do that, it is overlapping the information. That's why we don't use the circular shape. Cluster has the different definition, like the cells will collectively use the complete set of available frequency. It is also called as cluster, or as we see, group of cells is also called as the cluster. Repeating pattern of cells also called as cluster. Then what is cluster size? Here as we can say that there are three types of cells, A, B, C. So cluster size is 3. After that we have the channel capacity. Now what is channel capacity? So capacity of cellular system is directly proportional to the number of times the cluster is repeated in fixed area. So if the cluster size is small, cluster can be repeated in large numbers in a fixed service area, and hence more capacity is obtained. So we can say that if there is size of cluster is small, then channel capacity is high. So now selection of cluster size. For maximum capacity, smallest possible value of n is desired. So what is the frequency reuse factor? So formula of frequency reuse factor is 1 by n. Then what is cluster size? So I square plus ij plus j square, where I and j are non-negative integers. So now we will see system capacity, channel capacity, how to calculate it. It has simple formula: C is equal to cluster size into number of clusters into number of channel per cell. So now we will see frequency reuse. So it is the concept of reusing of set of frequencies. Like I have said that we have repeated the A frequency in another cell. That's called frequency reuse. So what is now interference? So interference had two types: co-channel interference, adjacent channel interference. Cluster has the different definition, like the cells will collectively use the complete set of available frequency. It is also called as cluster, or as we see, group of cells is also called as the cluster. Repeating pattern of cells also called as cluster. Then what is cluster size? Here as we can say that there are three types of cells: A, B, C. So cluster size is 3. After that we have the channel capacity. Now what is channel capacity? So capacity of cellular system is directly proportional to the number of times the cluster is repeated in fixed area. So if the cluster size is small, cluster can be repeated in large numbers in a fixed service area, and hence more capacity is obtained. So we can say that if there is size of cluster is small, then channel capacity is high. So now selection of cluster size. For maximum capacity, smallest possible value of n is desired. So what is the frequency reuse factor? So formula of frequency reuse factor is 1 by n. Then what is cluster size? So I square plus ij plus j square, where I and j are non-negative integers. So now we will see system capacity, channel capacity, how to calculate it. It has simple formula: C is equal to cluster size into number of clusters into number of channel per cell. So now we will see frequency reuse. So it is the concept of reusing of set of frequencies. Like I have said that we have repeated the A frequency in another cell. That's called frequency reuse. So what is now interference? So interference had two types: co-channel interference, adjacent channel interference. We'll see by the diagram of co-channel interference and adjacent channel interference. So as there are 5 cells: C1, C2, C3, C4, C5. There are three cells: C1, C2, C3. So and C4 are the co-channel, C1 and C4. So 3 C3 and C5 are the co-channel. So co-channel cells are those cells which that use the same frequency in given coverage area. We can say that see, C1 and C4 are using same frequencies. That's why we say the co-channel. So if we use the same frequency in this area, so we can say that that has interference. That's why we are using different frequency F1 and F4. So interference from this cell is called as the co-channel interference. Now we will see adjacent channel interference. So there are three cells: C1, C2, C3. They are the adjacent cells. Adjacent cells are those who like see here, C1 is adjacent to C2, C2 is adjacent to C3 as well as C1. So interference from these cells are called as adjacent channel interference. So it can be minimized by proper filtering of the signal, good separation frequency between adjacent cells. So now we will see the handoff or handover. Suppose you are in base station 1, this is base station 2. You are traveling or walking on phone. You are connected. Then after you are going to the base station 2, automatically it gets connected to base station 2 from network 1 to network 2. That's called handoff. And this is the diagram of that. So this is PSTN, after that MSC, base station 1, base station 2, and sales. So this is the block diagram, and this is the cinematic diagram of that. So MSC, mobile switching center is there, then base station 1, base station 2. This is cell 1, cell 2. So customer is going from this to this. So in this process is called as handoff. So what is the definition of handoff? Transferring of mobile cell from one base station to another base station is called as handoff. So handoff has 5 types: hard handoff, soft handoff, delayed handoff, queued handoff, post handoff. So we will see the hard handoff and soft handoff in the comparison form, so you can understand the better way. So what is hard handoff? So hard handoff, we can say that break before make. So what is break before make? We will see. This is EMSC. This is base station 1, base station 2. So this is customer is talking on the phone, and it is moving from base station 1 to base station 2. But before making the connection with base station 2, it gets declined from base station 1. That is called as hard handoff. That is, he doesn't make the connect with the base station 2. Before that, he gets disconnected from base station 1. That why it's called as hard handoff. So in hard handoff, we have observed some disturbance at a time when connection is present only, then it is less costly, we can say that. See soft handoff. What is soft handoff? Make before break. So as we see, hard handoff had made the decline connection. In soft handoff, base station 1 not get disconnected first. It gets connected to base station 2 or base station 3. After that, it get disconnected from the base station 1. And then because of that, number of no disturbance is in soft handoff. At a time, 2 or more connections are present, and it is more costly. So third is delayed handoff, two level handoff, or we can say request handoff. So this is the diagram of that, and so we'll see what is that. So when the signal strength level drops below the first layer of L1, so the mobile station initiate a handover request. After that, but if the signal strength drop down further after level 2, then handoff will take the place without any condition immediately. This process called as delayed handoff. Like in if gate connected, like we have base station 1 and base station 2. So in this area, if a customer is going from there, and suppose it getting disconnected from L1 and this is L2, and if there is L1, they will connect, like they request to the base station 2 to base station 2 to connect this phone, like we send the request to in Instagram, like to friend, to accept that request. That is the point. It is here, base station 1 sends the request, base station accept or decline. It is up to that. Then if L1, if range we are moving here, it not get accepted, in L2 level it get connected by automatically. That is called a delayed handoff. Like here we have get the delay, some time of delay in L1. That is why it called queued handoff, waiting handoff as well say that. So queued handoff is effective only when the handoff request arrive at the mobile station in the form of batches or bundle. Like we send the data in the packet switching method, then umbrella cell concept. So this is the most biggest cell. After that, it has 6 subcells or individual cells. Everyone has their own base stations. It has their own base station. It has their own. So these cells are called as micro cell, and this cell is called as macro cell. So this is the biggest cell which is covering the micro cell in it, which has its own base stations as well. So the smaller cells are grouped and assumed to be under a large cell. So the cells with low traffic are called as micro cells. They This is the micro cell, this is the macro cell, these are the micro cells. After that, the cells with the low traffic are called as the micro cell, and cells with the large high speed traffic are called as macro cell. So this cell is called as macro cell. like it has the more traffic than the micro cells. That's why it is called as macro cell. Like in one umbrella, people gathered there, like that. This is a macro cell and micro cells are in it. So now, what is the technique to improving the coverage and capacity in cellular system? So methods are four types of method: cell splitting, cell sectoring, microcell zone concept, and then repeater. So we will see the all four in depth. The first is cell splitting. So as the name indicates, cell is the hexagonal shape. It is a geographical area. So it is the process of the subdividing cell into the smaller cells. So smaller cell each with own base station. This is a diagram of cell splitting. This is the smaller cell. This is the more big than this cell, and this is the biggest cell. So this cell is called as smallest cell is called as picocell. After that, this is called as microcell. This is the macro cell. What is it is a cell splitting. Like this is the one cell, we have split it in three areas: microcell, macrocell, and picocell. That is the cell splitting. So cell splitting have many disadvantages, like this has the co-channel interference. So we move on the cell sectoring. So what is cell sectoring? So like we have one cell, this is divided into six part. This is called 60-degree sectoring, and this is the 120-degree sectoring. That is, one cell is divided into three parts. So this is a method of decreasing co-channel interference and enhancing the system performance by using directional antenna is called as cell sectoring. But in this concept, there is a problem of handoff. That's why we are moving into microcell concept to avoid the handoffs. So this concept is invented by Lee, and handoff is one of the problem associated with the cell sectoring. As we said that it has its own base station, then we have many handoff. That's why uh, capacity of network get decreases. That's why we are moving into micro cell zone. So this is the better version of cell sectoring, we can say that. So it result in increased to load on switching and controlling the element of the mobile system. So when the mobile travels between zone 1 to another zone within the cell, a handoff is not required. Like we are moving from this to this, so there is no handoff required in micro cell zone concept. So last is repeaters. So it regenerates the signal. As its name indicates, repeat the something. So it regenerates the signals. It improves the coverage capacity, as well as the user of wireless network coverage requires the dedicated coverage for coverage in area like buildings, mountain, valley. We can't go with the wired system in like covering the buildings with the wire. That's why we use the repeater. That's repeaters are wireless. That's why it is flexible for the metro cities as well as villages. So to provide such range capabilities, radio transmitter called as repeater are used. So we can say the in repeaters we use the radio transmitter, but nowadays we have the separate repeaters. So this is the end of the second chapter. Hope you like the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you.